What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 693 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you solo dolo to get your week started right. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got another Victory Monday episode to dive into as the Philadelphia Eagles take care of business in prime time once again on Sunday Night Football against the Los Angeles Rams. We will dive into the game, Saquon Barkley's historic night, both in Eagles franchise history and in NFL history. We will dive into the unfortunate Brandon Graham news, and we'll also go around the NFL, take a look at what happened during today's slate of games. As I record this on Sunday night, we'll talk some Sixers. We'll also talk some Phillies and Flyers, and then I will also have some fun news for you at the end of the show, so stick around for the fun news. But before we get into all of that, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Blue Sky. We're on every social platform. Give us a follow at Underground PHI. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311, Instagram, Threads, KBIZZLE11. You can follow me on TikTok, YouTube, and Blue Sky as well. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave a 5-star review. It genuinely helps the show so much when you guys subscribe, when you guys leave a 5-star review. I can't express it enough. Keep subscribing. Keep leaving those reviews. It does go a long, long way for helping us continue to grow this thing and make sure we're the best damn Philly sports podcast on the market. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week. Myself on Mondays, me and Harrison Kremets, Harry the K on Thursdays. You get full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We are currently at 875 subscribers. We lost a couple the last couple days. What's that all about? Keep subscribing. We are 25 subscribers away from 900. We are trying to get there before the end of November. 25 more of you need to subscribe for us to hit that goal. And then we are on the road to 1,000, trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So, subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, send your best wishes to Brandon Graham, and of course, click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. You get notified on your device of choice. And this show is proudly presented by the City of Vineland and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar. Features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I love me some victory. It's Victory Monday here at Underground Sports Philadelphia and in the city of Philadelphia. Eagles fans alike, happy Victory Monday. The Eagles take care of business against the Los Angeles Rams out in LA on Sunday Night Football by a final score of 37-20. Our Philadelphia Eagles improve to 9-2 on the season. They handled business against another frisky team that everyone was clamoring was better than the Eagles. They had the receivers to beat the Eagles' defense. And guess what? We weren't having any of it because the Eagles' offense came to play, and the Eagles' defense was absolutely electric in this game. The Rams on offense had 290 total yards of offense. Saquon Barkley had 302 yards of total offense on his own. It was a beautiful game. Jalen Hurts in this game, 15 of 22, 179 yards and a passing touchdown. Saquon Barkley, 26 carries, 255 yards, average almost 10 yards a carry, 9.8 on the average, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Jalen Hurts contributed 12 carries for 39 yards on the ground. Kenny Gainwell, 5 carries, 22 yards and a touchdown, his first of the season. And then A.J. Brown led the receivers, 6 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. Saquon had 4 catches for 47. Dallas Goedert had 4 catches for 19. Jahan Dotson had a catch for 4 yards. The offense was humming. It was Saquon's night. He broke multiple records in Eagles history, in NFL history. A 200-yard rushing game for just the 4th time in Eagles franchise history. Saquon Barkley with the most rushing yards in a game by a single player in Eagles franchise history. The most yards from scrimmage by a single player in Eagles franchise history. Saquon joins the 200-plus yard rushing club that was comprised of Deuce Staley, the first to ever do it in the modern era. On September 3rd, 2003, he had 201 rushing yards. The first ever player to do it in Eagles franchise history was Steve Van Buren with 205 back in November of 1949. The Eagles did something pretty special back then. And then LaShawn McCoy had the franchise record for most in a game before Saquon's epic night tonight. LaShawn, obviously, 213 yards on the ground on December 8th, 2013, the ever-so-famous snow game against the Lions. Saquon Barkley was unbelievable in this game, guys. Truly. I just couldn't believe what we were watching. Like, Saquon Barkley is him. The way that he carries the football, his vision is unmatched. His feet just keep moving and moving and moving until he is truly taken down by a defender. His motor is unmatched. And I genuinely, it's crazy how so many people, when Saquon was fighting to get his money a couple seasons ago, when running backs were fighting to get their money, Saquon was laughed at. And look at what he's doing now. He's playing free, he's playing fun, and he is just having the time of his life out on the field playing football with some of his favorite people. He just fits so perfectly into this offense. Running behind that Eagles offensive line has revitalized his career. And I don't want to hear anybody. I was just scrolling the timeline and Chase Daniel saying that any running back behind the Eagles offensive line is a cheat code. Nobody. Did you ever watch DeAndre Swift? Did you ever watch Miles Sanders? Did you watch Kenneth Gainwell behind this offensive line? They do what they do in their own right, but they're not doing what Saquon does. So shut the fuck up, Chase Daniel. Shut the fuck up. Like, he is just the biggest Eagles hater, and it's crazy because he played for this franchise. But anyway, it's absurd. Saquon is so talented. He is undeniably one of the best players in the league. And to me, tonight was a solid case that Saquon Barkley should be the MVP in the NFL. The way that he is running the football, the numbers he is putting up in this Eagles offense this year it's video game-like, and we've seen him make video game moves. Like, the way Saquon is playing right now is just so unbelievable. He's already set a career high in rushing yards for a season. The Eagles have 6 more games to go. It's unbelievable. He's carried the ball 223 times for 1,392 yards, averaging 6.2 yards per carry. He's got 10 touchdowns on the season. Like, you look at the games against the Packers, 24 carries, 22 carries against the Falcons, 17 against the Saints, 10 against the Bucks, 18 against the Browns, 17 against the Giants, 22 against the Bengals, 27 against the Jags, 14 against the Cowboys, 26 against the Commanders, and then 26 tonight against the Rams. Saquon Barkley is genuinely just, he's wildly talented. Like, his talents speak for themselves. The more he gets, the better he gets too. Like, the more he keeps running. They showed his split stats on NBC Sports Philadelphia tonight after the game, and Saquon's second half numbers are pretty much double what he does in the first half of games. The more he gets the ball, the more he wears down teams. Teams are tired. They can't bring him down. He's that much of a physical, athletic specimen, and Saquon Barkley is unbelievable. A game for the ages tonight, breaking records left and right, and he broke an NFL record tonight, or set an NFL record, I should say, because he's the only one to do it in franchise history. I'm pulling it up right here because it's absolutely absurd. Saquon Barkley is the first veteran player with 1,500 plus scrimmage yards in his first 11 games with a new team in NFL history. This season, at that point, Saquon had 1,566 yards from scrimmage with the Eagles so far this season. Like, come on, man. Like, that's redefining the position. That is redefining what you're capable of doing as a running back. And to me, when you redefine a position, when you are altering the record books for a position, when you are altering the record books after just the position was being diminished, like, he's Saquon, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, like, running backs this year are on the rise and they're showing their value. But Saquon in particular, just showcasing what his talents can do. It's rewriting the record books in NFL history. He's done this multiple times. Like, so many things. He's like the first player in NFL history to do it, and it's happening this year. To me, that's what an MVP is. That is the most valuable player. The Eagles have talent, of course, but you take Saquon off this team, the Eagles are a completely different team. You look at the Ravens, too. You take Derrick Henry off that team, they are a completely different team. Would they be successful? Absolutely. But guess what? Those teams are winning at the clip they're winning at. They're bullying teams, and even more so with Saquon because the win-loss results are there. The Ravens have had some bumps in the road for sure. Derrick Henry's still having a great year, but Saquon's doing this while his team is winning. That, to me, is NFL MVP type stuff. Saquon should be the MVP for the first time since 2012. Give it to a running back. Adrian Peterson, the last one to do it. Ever since then, it's been quarterbacks. Ryan Clark tweeted tonight that we need to stop giving this award out to quarterbacks just for the sake of giving it to quarterbacks. And it's true. Like, the MVP doesn't necessarily mean that you play quarterback in the NFL. Are quarterbacks valuable? Absolutely. But tell me a quarterback this year that has really redefined the position. Tell me a quarterback that's doing otherworldly things to carry his team to victory. You can point out to Jared Goff. Sure, he's had a couple good games this year and some that have really, lit up the stat sheet, but he also had a 5-interception game against the Houston Texans that his team barely squeaked by to win, and a lot of that was predicated on the defense keeping them in that game. And you look at what that team is doing, it's a lot of the ground game. It's Jahmyr Gibbs. It's David Montgomery. They're doing a lot on the ground. They're a versatile team, very much like the Eagles, but Saquon's doing it at a different clip. Lamar Jackson, you can put him in the case. I just don't see him doing things that are similar to what his other MVP seasons were. But other than that, I'm not giving it to Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen, maybe. But, what Saquon is doing this year is most valuable player. And I put a lot of emphasis on valuable because Saquon is unbelievably valuable to this Eagles offense, the way that they are playing football right now. Saquon Barkley, to me, he is undoubtedly the MVP at this point in time, and tonight's game really put a huge boost in that perspective for me. He is unbelievable. I'm just so happy that he's an Eagle, and I'm so happy he's on this team, just doing what he's doing. He is truly redefining the running back position and what running backs are capable of doing in modern NFL right now. The NFL is viewed as a passing league, and guess what? Saquon Barkley is proving that you can still run the ball in the NFL right now. Derrick Henry is still proving that you can run the ball and be successful in the NFL. Joe Mixon, same thing. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, same thing. Like, there are values to having a versatile offensive approach, and those teams in particular, to me, are showcasing why it's valuable. I mean, even the Bills, not to the same degree, but like James Cook, he's been fantastic for them this year. Being able to run the football in the NFL today, because so many teams' defenses are schemed to stop the pass, you're seeing a lot of smart teams adapt and get ahead of the curve and say, hey, if we run the ball, we can win games because teams are built to stop the pass. And the Eagles are prime example number one of that. And I'm so happy that we have a smart GM. Saquon Barkley is here, and Giants fans are in absolute shambles because Daniel Jones was released this week, and Saquon Barkley is playing for the Eagles. It's absolutely sensational. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on when we go around the NFL. But, you know, Puka Nacua had a great game for the Rams tonight. This is the first time that an Eagles team has really allowed a receiver to kind of go off a little bit. Puka had 9 catches for 117 yards. Kyren Williams, 16 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. He fumbled in this game, which led to the Eagles' first 3 points of the game. Stafford, I'm surprised the way Stafford was playing and the pressure was there. He didn't turn the ball over. But the Eagles did get their turnover on Kyren Williams early in the game when the Rams were really having their way with the defense. And great job by Vic Fangio again in this game defensively to adjust in the game and really figure out a way to stop the Rams offense. They put up 117 yards in the first quarter, I believe the Rams offense did. In the second quarter, the Rams offense put up -6 yards. So the adjustment process there by Vic Fangio from the first quarter and on was sensational, and this defense really adapted well. Nakobe Dean was sensational. He had a sack. I'm coining this term right here. We're going to take a look at the end of the season at all the sacks that Nakobe Dean has come up with this year, see which quarterbacks they were on, and anytime we compile this list, Nakobe Dean's sacks will be referred to as the Dean's List. Congratulations. You've made the Dean's List, Matthew Stafford. Cooper DeJean was great in this game, had a nice little tip ball that kept a pass away from one of the Rams receivers. It was either Puka or their tight end. I'm not 100%. It might have been Cooper Kupp, honestly. But a great tip drill there by Cooper DeJean to kind of tip it backwards and redirect the ball. Quinyon Mitchell almost had an interception in this game. It would have been spectacular if he got it. 4 tackles in this game, though, for him. CJ was great in this game. Isaiah Rodgers had a couple of hiccups, but he adjusted well as soon as he got his feet under him. Reed Blankenship left this game early, but he came back in almost immediately. Darius Slay had multiple injuries, was ruled out with a concussion later on in the game. Milton Williams had 2 sacks in this game. I love Milton Williams. He is so under the radar on this team just because, obviously, you have big boy Jordan Davis stuffing the run. You have Jalen Carter there who's catching double teams out the ass. And Milton Williams able to break through, gets 2 sacks in this game. Brandon Graham gets a sack in this game. Josh Sweat came away with a sack in this game, leads the team in sacks this year. Moro Ojomo had an awesome tackle in this game as well that really broke through and really stuffed the Rams. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. came into this game, got a tackle as well. That was cool to see Trot Jr. in there. But yeah, the defense, they came to play. There was a garbage time touchdown in this one. The refs were horrendous in this game. I genuinely... We've talked about refs, and we've had a multitude of clips come out about refs on this network. But genuinely, the refs in this game were so bad. They gifted the Rams 14 points. And I just want to say, if I was ever as bad at my job as these refs were bad at their jobs, I would be fired. Or at least, bare minimum, I'd be fined. I'd be suspended. These refs get away with all this stuff, and there's no consequence whatsoever. These refs continue to just get away with blatant missed calls, bad calls. They missed the fumble call early. They missed an offsides call and called a penalty on the Eagles instead. Genuinely, I just don't understand. LASIK is out there parading around that they are offering free LASIK eye surgery to referees. Go and get that shit done. I cannot believe that in 2024 we still have refs making calls that are so blatantly bad and so blatantly just, what are we doing? And they don't face any repercussion. They do a little pool report, and they don't have to answer for their quote-unquote crimes that shifted moments in the game. It's crazy to me. And it's all because, and a lot of people wonder why it never happens, and I know it'll never happen. I just continue to bang the drum for it to happen. Refs will never face any type of punishment in any professional sport because they're not full-time employees. They're not employed by the league. They're effectively part-time or independent contractors that come in to work these games. And until we have full-time referees, until we have full-time officials in these leagues, we're never going to see referees face the music for their piss-poor calls that they make in a game. And it's unfortunate. It sucks that's the case of it. But just the referees were horrible. Like I said, they gifted the Rams 14 points. Cooper Kupp scored a garbage time touchdown, and it's unfortunate that was against Quinyon Mitchell, that it was in garbage time. But that goes to show you Quinyon Mitchell has been so good that the only touchdown he's given up this year, and a lot of the blame is really on Sidney Brown not being able to get to the play in time because of the route that was called. Is in garbage time is when Quinyon Mitchell gave up a touchdown. That's how good he's been. I'm not mad at Q at all. He played a great game again. Darius Slay goes out with a concussion. That was unfortunate, but Isaiah Rodgers kind of shifted in. He had his mistakes a little bit there, but was able to rebound and played well down the stretch. The unfortunate injury is Brandon Graham. He went out, was on the bench, and there were reports that he was talking to Jalen Hurts for a lengthy amount of time. Eagles players were coming up to him left and right. And Brandon Graham, in the post-game media availability, confirmed to everybody that he tore his triceps and that he is out for the remainder of the season. Brandon Graham is a all-time Eagle. An all-time Eagle. Genuinely, when it's all said and done, number 55 should be up in the rafters. My heart sunk when I saw Brandon Graham confirm to the media on his own that was the case, that he tore his triceps, that he was going to be out for the remainder of the season. He said, "You're not done with me. Nobody's done with me. I'm still going to be out there coaching those boys and being out there with them." I'm gutted for Brandon Graham. He is the heart and soul of this football team and has been for a decade and a half. You can't replace what Brandon Graham brings, and Brandon Graham was having a vintage BG game tonight. Had that sack, had QB rushes, just gutted that he's going to miss the remainder of this season. And he's been playing so well, too, that I don't want Brandon Graham to go out like this. I hope he pulls a Vince Carter and says, "I got one more in me," and comes back next year to really go out on top the way that he deserves. It sucks. It sucks so badly. But again, it's a next man up thing. This is not the first time the Eagles go out to LA in prime time and lose a captain. And now it's time for a guy that I'm a huge fan of, Jalix Hunt, to really step up. It's time for the rest of that D-line to really step up and carry some water for BG. And this team now has been playing so well, and now you're adding in motivation to go out and win a championship for a franchise legend. Go do it. Win it for BG. Win this Super Bowl for Brandon Graham. Go out and do it. Leave everything out there week in, week out for Brandon Graham. I've been such a Brandon Graham fan. His story in this franchise is unlike any other. We've talked about Brandon Graham so much on this show over the past almost 7 years. And to see him get drafted, to see next to nobody be happy with the draft pick, to see him go through the final couple years of Andy Reid, to getting kind of lost in the mix with Chip Kelly and not really knowing what was on the horizon for his career, almost signs with the Giants in free agency. The Eagles bring him back, and his career gets revitalized under Doug Peterson. And then in 2017, he makes the play that will forever be cemented in franchise history of strip sacking Tom Brady in the Super Bowl to help lead the Eagles to their first title in franchise history. And then has been around through the Doug Peterson era, into the Nick Sirianni era, goes to another Super Bowl, wins an NFC championship title with the Core Four in 2022, comes ever so close to being another Super Bowl on his resume in 2022. And he comes through and he said his goal was to always play 15 years. And I hope that he's got year 16 in his bag. He's the ultimate story of overcoming obstacles that are in your career, that you adapt to your environment, and you make sure you don't get complacent. Brandon Graham is somebody I look up to so much. He's such a positive energy guy. He's the ultimate shit talker, and I genuinely hope his recovery is perfect, speedy, healthy, and no bumps in the road whatsoever. I love you, BG. You are the man. I've been a fan of yours from the beginning, and I can't thank you enough for everything you have done for this franchise, for this city, embracing us even when some fans didn't embrace you from the jump. You bought in, you've become a Philadelphian, and your contributions to the city, to the Eagles, they're unparalleled. And you are a franchise legend. You carved your name in the history books of the Eagles franchise forever. And you did it tonight, too. You moved into third place all time in career sacks in Eagles history, only behind Reggie White and Trent Cole. Pretty damn good company for Brandon Graham there. And just shows you he will be a legend forever. And I hope he's got one more in him. And it's time for the Eagles to go win a Super Bowl for BG. Go do it for BG. Love you, brother. And if you want to come on the show with some free time, open invite for Brandon Graham to come on this show whenever he wants, all the time. But yeah, the Eagles win 37-20. Go win it for BG. And now we shift our focus to the Baltimore Ravens next week. But just an unbelievable game. Saquon Barkley was sensational. And the Eagles silenced the doubters yet again. They're 9-2, standing all alone at first place in the division, 3 up in the loss column over the Commanders. They're tied with the Vikings in terms of record, but I believe in terms of tiebreaker, they're ahead. I'm going to pull up the NFL standings here just to see. And, with Brandon Graham out, I was looking. Obviously, I want Jalix Hunt to take that next step forward. I want the young guys on this team to get that experience and that opportunity. But you're going to need depth on that D-line and keeping guys fresh in the rotations on the D-line. And not that it's a heavy rotation defensive scheme per se, but you want to have some veteran presence on that line with BG out. And I was looking through some potential free agents that are out there. And I saw Randy Gregory's name, who kind of just disappeared from Bucks camp this summer and never made the team. But then I was scrolling, and a name that stood out to me was Frank Clark. Frank Clark of Seattle Seahawks fame, of Kansas City Chiefs fame. He's an edge rusher. He's only 31 years old. He is a free agent right now. Was a original draft pick of the Seahawks. Played there from 2015 to 2018. Then he went to Kansas City from 2019 to 2022. Was in Denver and then back in Seattle for a little bit last year and then was cut. He only played in 8 games last year. But Frank Clark is a guy that makes a lot of sense. He's got some familiarity with Clint Hurt, our defensive line coach. He's out there. He's young, like prime young, 31 years old. And I think he's a perfect fit for Vic Fangio's scheme. I hope Howie is listening to this right now and gives him a call. You look at Frank Clark's career stats. He's got 58.5 career sacks. He had 5 sacks in 2022 when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl and he was on the team. 4.5 in 2021, 6 in 2020, 8 in 2019, and his career high is 13 that he had in 2018 with the Seahawks. But I would like to see Frank Clark in an Eagles uniform. I think he fits really well. I think he could bring a veteran presence, and I think he could bring just a little spark, to add it to this team. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time Pro Bowler. Why not? Bring him in and see what he's got. Sign him to the practice squad, see if he's got any left in the tank for you, and you go from there. I think Frank Clark is a really solid signing for this team if they're able to do it. And it doesn't feel like a Shaq Leonard or anything like that. Like last year when the Eagles were trying to put Band-Aids on open wounds. It feels like a perfect fit, for this team. We'll see what happens with, signings and things like that with BG out. But Frank Clark is a name that I am keeping on the radar for everybody, and you heard it here first. I brought it up. So Frank Clark signs with the Birds. You're welcome. But yeah, that's kind of where that lies. But the Eagles are 9-2. They're up in the division big time. The Cowboys helped you out today, beating Washington, which we'll get to, and you're just behind the Lions in the NFC, which is huge. And if the Lions have one mess up, you're sitting pretty. The Lions are 10-1, the Eagles are 9-2. And by virtue, the Vikings are a wild card team because they're behind the Lions in the division. So right now you're battling for that 1 seed. The Eagles have scored more points this season than the Lions, and that's pretty. Or I'm sorry, no, they have not. They are on par with points against. Defensively, they're on par. They're definitely behind the Lions on points for because the Lions had a couple games that exploded. I just read that line wrong, but I feel really awesome about where this team is right now, and that's fun. Like we're having fun, Eagles fans, and even with the BG news, he would say it himself. He wants every fan to continue having fun and enjoying this football team, enjoy this ride right now. And that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to continue enjoying this ride that we're on and seeing where it takes us. And next week it takes us to Baltimore. And that's going to be a huge game. The Eagles have never won in Baltimore in franchise history. It's Lamar versus Jalen. It's Saquon versus Derrick Henry. And it's going to be a clash of titans next week in Baltimore. But I'm going to enjoy this win. It's a victory Monday. And Kenny Gainwell scored in this game too. And that means you crack open a nice cold Kenwood beer on a victory Monday. Kenwood beer is the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You can go to kenwoodbeer.com and use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware, Pittsburgh, and Maryland areas. You can also get it at your local liquor stores in those markets. Again, that's kenwoodbeer.com. Must be 21 or older to do so. And please enjoy responsibly. Shout out to Kenwood Beer, the official Victory Monday beer of Philadelphia, baby. But let's go around the NFL. But before we do, our Eagles breakdown was brought to you by our friends over at 47 brand. 47 is the best in the game when it comes to hats, apparel that you can rock anytime, any place, anywhere. 47 brand is out there providing the coolest designs on merchandise. They've got the most comfortable hats in the game. I'm rocking the Eagles ones right now, the matching set, shirt, hat. 47 brand, I'm a huge fan of the hitch style and the hitch relaxed style with the rope on it. I love the rope hats, love the hitch style hat. It's so comfortable. It's my go-to hat for every single thing I'm doing, whether I'm just going out running errands, recording the podcast. I'm rocking a 47 brand hat all the time. And 47 brand's got the sale of the season, guys. I'm going to go broke shopping 47 brand this week. Use our link in the description to get free shipping on all orders with 47 brand. And Black Friday sale, get 30% off site-wide at 47brand.com. Use our link to get 30% off site-wide and free shipping when you shop 47 brand this Cyber Week, this Black Friday weekend coming up. Like I said, 47 brand, best place to do it. Get the hats, get the shirts, get the jackets, sweatshirts, all that. Get 30% off site-wide with 47 brand's Black Friday sale and get free shipping when you use our link in the description. Big thank you to 47 brand for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Like I said, 30% off site-wide this Black Friday and Cyber Week with our friends at 47 brand. But let's go around the NFL. And it is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Guys, the NFL is always streaming on Paramount Plus. It is the go-to place to watch the NFL all season long. Paramount Plus, they're truly the best in the game. One of the best places for everything that you need to watch on TV, from live sports to shows, movies, original series. Paramount Plus is the place for you. Watching the NFL all season long on Paramount Plus is incredible. And right now, you can stream the NFL on Paramount Plus all season long, and you can sign up for Paramount Plus for just $2.50 a month for 12 months when you use our link in the description. Half price, all the fun. Ongoing. Half price, all the fun. Get 50% off any Paramount Plus annual plan right now. Get $2.50 per month for 12 months when you use our link in the description. And watch the NFL all season long on Paramount Plus. I'm pretty sure next week the Eagles will be on Paramount Plus because they're playing the Ravens. Is that game on CBS? Crazy to think next week is December 1st. Holy moly. NFL Eagles Ravens TV channel. Yep. Eagles on Paramount Plus next week against the Ravens. What a perfect thing. Paramount Plus. Sign up today. Link in the description. Sign up for free when you use our link and sign up for 12 months. $2.50 per month for 12 months with our friends at Paramount Plus. Let's go around the NFL, as today was a crazy day in the NFL, as the games looked a little some like this. Thursday got us started. The Browns upset the Steelers in the snow 24-19. The Titans upset the Texans 32-27. The Vikings squeak by the Bears in overtime 30-27. The Cowboys, in the craziest game of the day, defeat the Commanders 34-26. Which really helped the Eagles out a ton. Not that I was rooting for the Cowboys, but it was nice that they won. The Dolphins absolutely blitzkrieg the Patriots 34-15. The Chiefs squeak by the Panthers 30-27. The Buccaneers, how you doing? Take down the Giants 30-7 in New Jersey. The Lions take down the Colts 24-6. The Broncos win 29-19 in Vegas. The Seahawks silence the Cardinals 16-6. The Packers humiliate the 49ers 38-14. And our Eagles with a 37-20 victory over the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi Stadium, which might be cursed because every single time we go there, somebody gets hurt, and I'm sick and tired of it. And then Monday Night Football wraps up Week 12 of NFL action. It's the Harbaugh Bowl for Monday Night Football. Ravens at Chargers on Monday night. Should be a good one. Let's go around the standings in the NFL. We'll start in the AFC as this decides to load. The Bills are 9-2. The Dolphins are 5-6, the Jets 3-8, and the Patriots are 3-9. The Chiefs remain atop the AFC West at 10-1. It sounds like our guy Isaiah Pacheco will be back for them next week. The Chargers, who have yet to play, are 7-3. The Broncos are 7-5, and the Raiders are 2-9, and they are eliminated from AFC West championship contention. The AFC North, the Steelers are 8-3. The Ravens are 7-4. The Bengals are 4-7, and the Browns are 3-8. The Texans are 7-5. The Colts are 5-7. The Titans are 3-8, and the Jaguars are 2-9, and that's the AFC standings right there. Going to the NFC. Let's pull up the NFC. The Eagles are 9-2 atop the NFC East, a 3-game lead in the loss column over the Commanders, who are 7-5. The Cowboys are 4-7, and the Giants are 2-9. The Seahawks at the top of the absolutely gross and disgusting NFC West at 6-5. The Cardinals are 6-5. The Rams are 5-6. The 49ers are in last place in that division at 5-6. The Lions are 10-1, leading the way in the NFC North, best record in the NFC. The Vikings are 9-2, right behind them. The Packers are 8-3. That division is wild. And the Bears are 4-7. And then the Falcons are 6-5. The Bucks are 5-6. The Saints are 4-7, and the Panthers are 3-8. Those are your standings around the NFL after most of Week 12 action that has gone down this week. An absolutely wild week in the NFL. Just a crazy performance across the board. You know, to have the Cowboys help you out if you're the Eagles this week was huge. Unfortunate the Bears couldn't help you out this week because they were on the precipice of taking down the Vikings, as my laptop decides it wants to restart on me here as we're mid-podcast. That's always fun. If you hear the boot up noise, I apologize. But right now the Eagles are in a good position. overall, you have the Lions ahead of you. The Vikings are tied with you, but the Vikings are behind the Lions, obviously. So that's something to take into account. If the Lions do ever slip up, they are privy to allowing the Vikings to leapfrog them at some point. The Eagles would love to have that 1 seed, obviously, and we go from there. And I'm feeling good about this team. I hope you guys are feeling good about this team because they are playing extremely balanced, fun, awesome football. At the end of the day, the defense is unbelievable. They're the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL. The offense is ranked top 5. I'm excited to see where they jump after this game with Saquon Barkley's performance. And they did all of this without Devontae Smith as well. The Eagles did this all without Devontae Smith. So take that for what you will. Be excited about the direction of this team. We have another big game on the horizon against the Ravens next week, and these big games are fun. Like, you feel nervous going into them. You feel a sense of uneasiness going into it. But overall, this Eagles team should have you thrilled and excited, and now it's time to go win it for BG. Go win the Super Bowl for Brandon Graham. Now to the complete polar opposite of this Philadelphia Eagles football team. The 76ers, everybody. What a franchise. What a team. What a team that Sixers team is. This team, guys, has me just... What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't even know where to go from here. But our Sixers breakdown, it's brought to you by our friends over at FOCO, the leaders in forever collectibles. If you're not shopping FOCO this holiday season, you're doing your fandom an injustice and a disservice. And even though the team might not be good right now, even though they may be struggling, even though they look like a dystopian, helpless team right now, they still got great merchandise, and FOCO is here to help you look your best in your Sixers gear. Recently, FOCO has been releasing lots of new merchandise and products for all fans to show off their favorite team, including our Philadelphia 76ers. We have curated an entire shopping list for you guys for your favorite Sixers fan this holiday season, from the ever so amazing and comfortable FOCO overalls. They've got them in a Sixers variation now. They've got a badass Joel Embiid big head bobblehead. Plus, my favorite item of this holiday season is the Sherpa blanket. Get the Sixers Sherpa blanket for your favorite Sixers fan to keep them warm this season, because we're going to need it, because it's cold out there for this team right now. Click our link in the description and shop our curated list of amazing 76ers merchandise and collectibles from our friends at FOCO. Plus, shop officially licensed gear from Major League Baseball, the Fightin' Phils, the Eagles, the Sixers, like I mentioned, the Flyers, college sports, the WWE. The list goes on and on. It's all officially licensed with FOCO, and we thank FOCO for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Guys, it's not looking good in Sixers land right now. The Sixers win on Friday, 113-98 against the Nets. Tyrese Maxey is back. Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey are the happiest backcourt. The Smile Bros are doing their thing. But the rest of the team is not, and they played tonight before tonight's Eagles game against the Clippers at home and lost 125-99. No Joel Embiid in this game. Your leading scorer was Jared McCain with 18 points. Tyrese Maxey gave you 17. Kelly Oubre gave you 12. Caleb Martin gave you 3 points. Yabu gave you 6 points. KJ Martin gave you 4. Ricky Council gave you 9. Eric Gordon gave you 7. Andre Drummond was terrible in this game and gave you 6. Reggie Jackson, 7 points. Lester Quinones, 6 points. Justin Edwards, 4 points. Adam Bona played in this game but gave you no points. He had a poster of a dunk for the Blue Coats today. This team is 3-13, guys. I mean, I talked about it, a week ago? What did they have to have by Christmas to feel any sense of hope? And they've done the complete opposite. They beat the Brooklyn Nets to get their third win of the season, a regulation win for the first time this season. And you play the Rockets on Wednesday. The Pistons, the Hornets, the Magic, the Bulls, the Hornets, the Cavs, the Spurs, and then the Celtics. I don't know, guys. I don't know. They're 3-13. Basketball Reference, I think, has them at like 4.42% chance of making the playoffs. The only team they're better than in the Eastern Conference right now by half a game is the Wizards. I mean, I'll pay attention to this team. I will keep tabs on the Jared McCains and the Tyrese Maxeys and obviously Embiid when he's playing. But it's so bleak. It's so bleak. And the NBA is such a dumb product that the Sixers are 6 games back of the 3 seed. And they're 4 games back of the 6 seed. And they're 2 games out of a playoff spot. That's how dumb and bad and just disgusting the NBA is. I have no words for this team, guys. They are not fun outside of Jared McCain, who is just an unbelievable soul. Tyrese Maxey is back, which is great. And it is just not a fun team to watch right now. They are draining. And like I've mentioned time and time and time again, Josh Harris does not care about this team. Harris Blitzer Entertainment does not care about this team. And this team is not going to dig themselves out of this absolute hellscape until they sell the team. The Sixers have tanked themselves into being the team I care the least about right now in the city. You know, I always have the Phillies when they're in season and doing things. They're obviously my top dogs. The Eagles are right there right now. The Eagles have my full body attention. The Flyers I am far more intrigued about than the Sixers right now. The Philadelphia Wings season gets going next weekend, and I am far more excited about them than I am the Sixers. You should be too. The Water Dogs in the PLL, they're not even going right now, and I'm far more excited about their season, which is 6 months away. I'm far more excited about determining what my Premier League team is going to be in terms of fandom and diving into the ins and outs of that whole report that I'm going to do and the whole background check I'm doing on every team that's in the running than I am about the 76ers right now. And guess what? My team, it's not Crystal Palace. They were in the running, and then I found out Josh Harris owns the team, and they were quickly eliminated, and Josh Harris is trying to keep that team out of the relegation zone. So until I have an ownership group that cares about my franchise, it's tough for me as a fan to care about what the team is doing outside of a select portion of the franchise. It sucks, but that's where I am right now. That's where I am right now. I have far larger priorities for me and this company and the successes of our company than I do with the 76ers and the current state of the way they're playing basketball. Like they are draining outside of Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. The whole Embiid saga has been soul-sucking and not in a good way. So yeah, I mean that's where I am with the Sixers right now. It's tough. It does not look like it's getting better anytime soon. I don't know what they have to do. I don't know how it gets better, and I genuinely don't know if it gets better. But it feels like a dystopian wasteland right now when that team is playing basketball, because I have no hope for them. I have no hope for the current situation that this team is in. Do I have hope for Maxey McCain and hopefully Embiid gets better? Obviously. But the rest, what do I have to hope for? Not much. There's a lot more going on sports-wise in this city than having to worry about the Sixers and the piss-poor product that the NBA is putting on right now. So that's where I'm at with the Sixers. Going to take a quick break to cut it to past me. I recorded our Flyers and Phillies segment before the Eagles game tonight, so we're going to cut to me, run a little ad break here, and then when I come back, we are going to mention the fun news that I was mentioning at the top of the show. So don't go anywhere, and let's kick it to myself right here in the studio.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
All right, let's talk a little Flyers now. It is brought to you by our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company, the best merch in the game. You want to stand out in the crowd when you're going to the Wells Fargo Center to watch the Flyers, the Sixers. You want to go down to the link, rep the Birds. Spring training's right around the corner. Rep the Phils, the Union, and you can rep Underground Sports Philadelphia. PHI Apparel Company is the exclusive home to Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast merch. Rep your favorite podcast. Support your favorite podcasters on our network. Fill up your cart. Black Friday is right around the corner, guys. It's this week. Get merch that's going to make you stand out in the crowd. Have people asking you where you got that merch from, and you're going to tell them, oh, I got it at PHI Apparel Company. Go to phiapparel.co. It is linked in the description of this podcast, both audio and video. And when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND, and you get 10% off your next merch order, any merch order, with our friends at PHI Apparel Company. That's code UNDERGROUND at phiapparel.co, and you get 10% off your next merch order so you can stand out in the crowd this holiday season, this sports season, and root for your favorite teams and favorite podcasters with PHI Apparel Company. Let's talk a little Flyers. Last time we talked, Wednesday, the game was going on. The Flyers lost to the Hurricanes, which we kind of chalked up, Harrison and I did, as a loss. The Hurricanes are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. But on Saturday, the Flyers got the job done in overtime, and it was Michkov mania. The Michkov magic strikes through, and the Flyers win 3-2 in overtime, courtesy of a Matvei Michkov overtime goal. It was a win the Flyers certainly needed. Noah Cates, Sean Couturier with the other goals in this game. TK with 2 assists. He had the assist on the game winner. Bobby Brink had an assist in this game. Tyson Forster had an assist. Rasmus Ristolainen, Travis Sanheim both had assists. Great game for the Flyers. You know, it was ugly early. Chicago scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Flyers tie it up in the third. And then Michkov delivers the game winner. A great game for Alexei Kolosov. 19 of 21, a .905 save percentage for him, his first NHL win. And this is a team the Flyers are supposed to beat. Sure, both of these teams are rebuilding. They're trying to find their stride and everything, but this was a game the Flyers had to have. You're at home. You're playing an inferior opponent. Let's be honest. The Blackhawks are not that great of a hockey team right now. And you let Matvei Michkov kind of get another one-up on Connor Bedard, which is huge. And the Flyers get a win. They're now 9-10-2. They go into action again at home and wrap up this home stand of 5 straight against the Golden Knights, another game that both Harrison and I kind of chalked up as a loss. You kind of see where they lie. You go on the road on Wednesday to play Nashville, hopefully go out there and get a W, and then come home Friday, Black Friday game, 1 p.m. against the Rangers. Show you got some chutzpah in that game. Keep it close, keep it fun. Try to scratch out at least a point in that one. And then you wrap up November against the Blues on Saturday. But this Blackhawks game, to me, it showed you a lot of progression. It showed you a lot about this team and how they're not going to quit on you. They continue to showcase their talents of both youth and veteran leadership. You know, TK performing the way that he did in this game was huge, and Sean Couturier contributing in this game with a goal of his own. But Michkov is the real deal, and he had the quote of the game afterwards, where he was talking to the media and said, "There's not many moments you're going to get. When you get a moment, you have to be cold-blooded and finish it." That's Matvei Michkov, baby. He's that dude. I genuinely am such a fan of his. He makes watching hockey so fun because he plays such a pure style of hockey that is just so fascinating for such a young player. He's only 19 years old, and he continues to just dazzle in so many different ways. His hustle is unmatched, and he's truly, like, he's the rookie of the year right now. Like, he's a generational talent, and I don't like throwing that term around all too often, but Matvei Michkov is genuinely a generational talent, and the Flyers are lucky to have him. It was also nice to finally see an interpreter in the locker room with Matvei after the game. Took long enough. I mean, with how prominent so many non-American players are and non-English speaking players are in the NHL, you would assume every team would have some sort of interpreter on staff. It was nice to see somebody in person with Michkov, let him feel a little bit more comfortable in the locker room, you know, doing post-game media availability and everything. But a great win for the Flyers to scrap, claw, and never quit. They never gave up on themselves in this game. The hustle was great. And, you know, this is a good performance for Kolosov, too, to showcase that, you know, he can hang. He's had a couple bumps in the road to start his career, but this was a great performance from him. Only gave up the 2 goals, and it was 1-1. You know, it wasn't like it was multiple goals in one period. It was kind of, you know, just unlucky bounces here and there. Cam York was back in this game, too, which was nice to see him back and healthy. And this team is vibing right now. And I like Torts' post-game quote where he said, you know, who are we to overlook anybody? You know, I like that mentality from a head coach to kind of just say, hey, we're not overlooking anyone on our schedule. We are not giving anybody a free pass. We are not saying, hey, you're not important on our schedule. We're in the same boat as you. We're trying to find our identity. We're trying to figure things out as we go. And that is a great mindset to have being preached in the locker room, and for your head coach to kind of come out and recognize the current situation you're in as a franchise is huge. And I think if they continue to do that, that's going to be massive for this team just moving forward and what they're going to be able to accomplish, because they know that they're in a certain position right now. They are not championship contenders right now. They are looking to find that identity, looking to find who fits in this puzzle right now. They are eventually going to find the other pieces of the puzzle. And I'm excited for the future of this Flyers team and watching them continue to just show gutsy performances night in and night out when they play is always exciting. There's going to be bumps in the road with this team. We acknowledge that from the jump. Like I've said since the beginning of this season, this is year 1 of a rebuild process. Last year was year 0. This is year 1. They're finding their footing. They have a good mix of veterans and young players on this team. And when you have that generational talent like Matvei Michkov in the mix, you're always going to find yourself in the thick of it in games, no matter what the situation is, which is very exciting for the now, but especially exciting for the future when you have a guy who calls himself cold-blooded, is badass. And I'm truly truly very optimistic about this team right now, even in the position they're in at 9-10-2 overall. You look at the standings in the Metropolitan right now. They're still ahead of the Penguins. They're tied with the Blue Jackets. They're 1 point behind the Islanders, and they're only 5 points behind the Rangers, which makes that Black Friday game super so much of a swing game. If the Flyers are able to muster out points against Nashville, which if you look at where Nashville is in the standings right now, they're not that great. They have 17 points on the season. But then you get points there and you're able to swing a point or total points away from the Rangers. You're climbing back in it with them, and the Rangers are in 4th place in the Met right now, which is it's an attainable spot for the Flyers right now. The biggest thing is just locking down on defense and kind of digging themselves out of that goal differential deficit they find themselves in at -13, which is not anywhere nearly as bad as the Penguins, who are at -34. But they're 5-4-1 in their last 10, and they're finding ways to win. And watching a team find ways to win and winning together and winning as a team throughout a process like this, where the Flyers are in that rebuild and they're winning as a team and figuring out ways to do it, is super exciting to watch, because when the ultimate payoff eventually happens for this team, it's going to be wild to look back when we're saying, oh yeah, you remember in 2024, when they were grinding away and they won that overtime game against the Chicago Blackhawks, and Michkov was really, busting ass and showcasing what it means to get a win in the NHL. That's the foundation of a championship team, and the Flyers are laying the bricks of that foundation right now. It's going to be a slow process, hopefully not anywhere nearly as slow as what the Blackhawks are going through, but they're finding their way, and they're fun, and if you're not giving them a chance, they're giving you an exciting product to watch. It's not a painful rebuild. There's going to be moments that are painful, but overall, it's not a painful rebuild for this team, and I'm wildly optimistic about the direction that this team is going in. I think Tortorella is the perfect guy manning the ship right now, and overall, these guys are performing at a level that you are kind of expecting from a team like this right now. And, Michkov is 19 years old right now, and looking at his point output right now, less than 2 months into his NHL career, in 19 games played, he's got 16 points. He's got 7 goals, 9 assists in 19 games. He's on the cusp. If he has a big game, he's on the cusp of being a point per game player, which is exactly what you want in the early go as a overall just huge development for him as a 19-year-old. So very excited about the way he's playing. Love how TK is playing. TK should be an all-star. Love seeing the goalies kind of find their groove, and watching the young players just develop and continue to find ways to improve their game is what's making this Flyers team oh so fun. Highly, highly recommend giving them a watch right now over kind of what the Sixers are doing outside of a couple players, because the Flyers are generally more fun. They're an entertaining product, and I am having a lot of fun following along with them this season. I guarantee you will too. It's one of those things where the fruits of the labor will pay off for this team. They have the right guys running the ship, from Jonesy to Danny Briere to Tortorella to the coaching staff, and then the guys on the ice. They've got a good thing brewing right now for the early go of this rebuild, and I feel very, very optimistic about the direction of the orange and black. So, great win against the Blackhawks. Hopefully they can hang with the Knights. They were hanging with Carolina early on, and Carolina just kind of broke it open in that third period, but it was tied, going into the third period. So they have showcased that they can hang with some of the big dogs. Let's see if they can hang with a big dog like the Vegas Golden Knights on Monday at the Wells Fargo Center. So that's going to be a ton of fun to watch. Another thing here that I do want to discuss is Juan Soto season, ladies and gentlemen. Juan Soto season. Pulling it up here because, ladies and gentlemen, it is nearing that time where we are entering phase 2 of the Juan Soto offseason saga. And Buster Olney is reporting that sources involved in the Juan Soto talks expect the teams will begin forwarding offers this week. To date, the process has been about Soto meeting with teams and club officials and about those officials getting to know Soto. Now the offers are going to start trickling in. And the thing with Juan Soto is he wants to win. He wants to go to a team that has money. And I think Juan Soto's a big guy on friendship and familiarity. I think he values relationships within an organization. I think that's why he and Manny Machado were so close. I think that's why he and Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton were so close. But who is he closest with in Major League Baseball? In my opinion, just from what we have seen throughout his career, that would be Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Kevin Long, Kyle Schwarber, all who play for the Philadelphia Phillies. And there's continuous rumors out there throughout the last week or so from Buster Olney, from John Heyman, saying the Phillies are in the mix. The Phillies are going to get a star. They're going to land a star. I don't subscribe to the notion of Alex Bregman. I think that would be a foolish move for the Phillies, and apparently Bregman wants a contract north of $300 million. Please jettison yourself as far away from that as possible, John Middleton. Do not even touch that with a 10-foot pole. The whole crochet situation, it depends on a package, and I don't know. His injury history is concerning, and you'd be fooling yourself to say that it's not concerning. So I'm hesitant on that, to say the least. But Juan Soto is the blockbuster hot ticket item this offseason. And if there's one thing John Middleton likes, it's having stars at Citizens Bank Park. He likes to have Citizens Bank Park shining as bright as possible with as many stars. And there's ways for this roster to work with Juan Soto on it. And I don't know. I just feel optimistic about Juan Soto. Am I saying that the Phillies are going to sign him? I'm not. I'm not flat out saying it's a lock of the century. It doesn't feel like Bryce Harper and Trey Turner were when they were free agents and them signing with the Phillies. It doesn't feel like, Aaron Nola almost. Aaron Nola, I felt, was almost a foregone conclusion. He was back. It doesn't feel like one of those locks that Juan Soto is going to be a Philly, but it does feel like the Phillies have a lot more of a chance than people are giving them credit for. And that's exciting in and of itself, is that the Phillies are always finding themselves in the mix for these superstar players, no matter what position, no matter what the situation is. The Phillies place themselves in the room. They want to be in the room where the big ticket items are and want to see if they can land them. They want to at least be at the table of conversation, and they put themselves there every single offseason, and that's the sign of an owner who wants to win. That's the sign of a team that wants to win, and I fully believe the Phillies will land a star. Who will it be? That remains to be seen. You have these rumors that they want to shake things up. I don't really subscribe to the notion that too much is going to be shaken up. Like, you would have to wow me in order to move on from some of the players that are being thrown in these rumors. It just doesn't logistically make sense right now for this team to do some of the things that are being discussed. And when you look at who is available, when you look at what's on the table for this team and what you have already at home and know is capable of winning, I'm not saying necessarily run it back, but I do want the bench to have a little bit of an identity to it. The Phillies announced they non-tendered Austin Hayes, which is a great move. Thank goodness he's gone, because that was a flat-out disaster of a move at the trade deadline. That dude is going down as one of the all-time bad trade deadline acquisitions in the Dave Dombrowski era for sure, and potentially just Phillies history, because he was horrendous as a one-off acquisition. Like, that was like putting a Band-Aid on an open wound. you have the Phillies also tendered Garrett Stubbs, which is smart. People who are against that, you don't know ball. You don't understand the logistics of baseball. You don't understand how Garrett Stubbs still has a minor league option. You don't understand how it doesn't necessarily guarantee that Garrett Stubbs is the backup catcher. He's going to have to earn it, but he's a damn good backup catcher. He calls a great game. I don't care that he doesn't hit the ball like you want him to hit the ball, okay? Garrett Stubbs has one of the best pop times in Major League Baseball as a backup catcher and calls a damn good defensive game, knows this pitching staff. That's important to me. As a fan, as somebody who watches this pitching staff, to have somebody who's familiar with your pitching style, whether it's Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez, or your fifth pitcher throwing to Garrett Stubbs, I want those pitchers to be comfortable. I want Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola, if it comes to Garrett Stubbs having to catch them, to be comfortable with who they're throwing the ball to. Rafael Marchand, everyone is calling for him because he had a great little stint this year up in the majors. I understand that. I think Marchand's wildly talented, but guess what? The dude can't stay healthy to save his life. That dude is always injured. There's always something. It's always these small little injuries that turn into him being out for weeks on end. I just genuinely need everyone to understand that it's not a guarantee that Rafael Marchand is going to be available all the time. Plus, Marchand does not have any more minor league options. So if you decided to send him down, he's going to have to go through waivers, and you risk the chance of losing him to another franchise, which is almost a foregone conclusion. And the Phillies don't have any upper minor league tier catching depth. AA and AAA, they don't have any catching depth to kind of piggyback off of. So to have Garrett Stubbs here is a smart move, you bozos. It drives me nuts when people don't understand ball. And they just see a name and they get mad because of a quote from 2 years ago. Like, shut the fuck up. I, for one, am happy Garrett Stubbs is back. They also tendered Bohm, Stott, and a couple others. So we'll see how arbitration works out with those guys. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy. But you got to figure something out to kind of shake things up. And my big move here, because obviously I'm a huge Teoscar Hernandez fan. I wanted him to be a Philly last offseason before he went to the Dodgers. But what I do want to see the Phillies do, and one of my offseason priorities for a bench outfield bat, is Brian De La Cruz. If you remember, Brian De La Cruz, former Miami Marlin, got traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates last season at the trade deadline. He is what this Phillies bench needs. He's a fourth outfielder, plays a decent left field. You know, he's not lighting the world on fire, but he's a solid defender, hits really well, 20 home run guy, can platoon in the outfield if you need him to. And, you know, he hits around 230 to 250. That's exactly what you want, you know, from a guy who's hitting for power and driving runs in. And he's a guy that is like what I want this Phillies bench to be. You know, you have Edmundo Sosa, you have Garrett Stubbs, or your backup catcher of choice, whatever it may be. You add a Brian De La Cruz. You add a big bopper type of DH first baseman situation. And then you add another either outfielder or utility guy like a Cody Clemens, something like that. I wouldn't mind Cody being on the bench this season. I think he's earned it. But you need to go get like a Brian De La Cruz. You need to go and get somebody like a Jock Peterson, something like that to come off the bench. The Phillies have not had that in this era of Phillies baseball. You know, they haven't had the Matt Stairs. They haven't had the guy who is the trusted bat off the bench. You know, you look at what the Braves did in 2021, going and getting Adam Duvall and Jorge Soler and Eddie Rosario. The Phillies haven't had that. And they went and got Jock Peterson too, you know. The Phillies have not had those types of bats to come off the bench. It's always been calling guys up from the minors, which is fine, but I'd rather have somebody who kind of strikes fear into an opposing pitcher, strikes fear into a starter or a bullpen pitcher, knowing that guy can hit. That guy can come in and get you a knock and drive runs in or get on the bases and steal a couple bags and really cause havoc for you coming off the bench and make your bench a useful commodity. The Phillies have had pieces, but the overall bench has not been a useful commodity for them in this era. And I think that's something that I really want to see the Phillies prioritize this offseason. I think that's a huge component to a championship team, is having bench depth who can come in for you, pinch hit, come in for defense, play for you a couple days a week. Like, they haven't had that consistent factor off the bench, and I really want to see that come to fruition this offseason and see who they can get, But Brian De La Cruz I'm going to be banging the drum for him all offseason. You're going to hear me talking about him a ton until he is signed by the Phillies or another team. But that is like one of my offseason targets, is Brian De La Cruz for this Phillies bench and for this Phillies outfield, especially if they don't land Juan Soto. Now, if they land Juan Soto, it changes a lot of things. But if they don't land Juan Soto, Brian De La Cruz needs to be towards the top of the priority list for the outfield for this team, and I think he fits the energy, he fits the vibe of this franchise a lot, and he's a big reason why the Phillies went to the playoffs in 2022, because when he was with the Marlins, he was getting clutch hits against the Brewers to keep the Brewers out of the wild card and help the Phillies inevitably get into the postseason for the first time in over a decade in 2022, which inevitably led to a World Series berth. So, Brian De La Cruz, finish your story, come to Philadelphia. He is priority number one for me, pending a Juan Soto deal for this Phillies offseason. I would love Jock Peterson here too. I know he declined the part of his mutual option, so he's a free agent again. I would love to bring him here and just build out a bench full of goons. I want a bench full of goons that strikes fear, that brings like a fun energy to this team, and really a bench that you can get behind and support, and really know that you have guys waiting in the cavalry for you to go and battle night in and night out if you need them. So Brian De La Cruz, Jock Peterson, those are two guys that are certainly at the top of my wish list for this Phillies offseason. But it's Juan Soto watch, Volume 2. We are in Phase 2 of Juan Soto watch here at Underground Sports Philadelphia, and we are just getting started. The offseason, it's not even December yet, everybody, so we'll see how it all shakes out. But I'm excited. I love the baseball offseason. It's wild. It's chaotic. You never know what's going to happen, and it gets me stoked. So we'll see what happens there. But let me know who you want the Phillies to sign this offseason, your perfect offseason. You can leave a comment in the comment section or drop me a voicemail, speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. Interact with the show. Drop us a voicemail. We feature them on every single Monday episode. So leave me a voicemail, speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia, with your Phillies perfect offseason. And we'll see how it all shakes out, as December is right around the corner. But without any further ado, I'm going to kick it back to myself. We got some fun announcements to wrap up the show, and an exciting week here at Underground Sports Philadelphia, to say the least. But I got a couple ads for you, and then I'll kick it to myself. So let's go to Future Me. This portion of Underground Sports Philadelphia is brought to you in part by our friends at Duracell and their Duracell portable power stations. From the #1 trusted battery brand, Duracell portable power stations and charging hubs allow you to power your laptops, mobile devices, lights, speakers, and any small electronics that make your life easier during a power outage or while you're away from a wall outlet. Guys, ever since Duracell and Duracell portable power stations have gotten on board with us as a partner, I could not tell you how stoked I am. I've used Duracell batteries ever since I was a kid. I'm sure you have too, to charge remotes, video games, whatever it may be. And now Duracell is powering and charging any live event that we're doing for Underground Sports Philadelphia with their charging hubs and their power stations. They're making sure that our live shows are fully juiced and ready to go whenever we're on the road. Click our link in the description, and right now, I've got an awesome deal for you guys. This is unbelievable stuff. Click our link, and use code CYBER35 to take 35% off site-wide plus free shipping when you click our link and visit Duracell Portable Power Stations. That's code CYBER35 and take 35% off site-wide plus free shipping when you shop Duracell and their portable power stations. And thank you to Duracell for powering this portion of today's episode. This portion of the episode is also brought to you by our friends at Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. From sunglasses to blue light glasses to prescription lenses and their awesome small batch apparel, Tomahawk Shades has you covered to make sure your eyes are protected in the most fashionable way for a fraction of the price of the big eyewear companies. Tomahawk Shades are the most comfortable eyewear pieces I've ever put on my face, from their sunglasses that I'm always wearing when I'm out on the road to their blue light glasses when I'm sitting here burning the midnight oil and editing these podcasts to get out for the people. I'm wearing my blue light plus glasses. You should be doing the same. Protect your eyes. Do it for a fraction of the price of the big eyewear companies. Right now, Tomahawk Shades early Black Friday sale is going on. You can get up to 90% off selected items when you use code EBF24. That's code EBF24 on select items to get up to 90% off during Tomahawk Shades early Black Friday sale. And year-round, 24/7, 365, you can use code USP at checkout at tomahawkshades.com or in the Tomahawk Shades app, and you get 25% off your next order from our friends at Tomahawk Shades. That's code USP for 25% off all year round from our friends at Tomahawk Shades at tomahawkshades.com or in the Tomahawk Shades app. Code USP, tomahawkshades.com. And now, let's kick it back to me right here in the studio.
At home, around your home, or on the go, you can rely on Duracell M-Series portable power stations. Power phones, tablets, laptops, any of the small devices you need for work and for life. Simply charge on the dock to easily grab and go. Use the magnetic tiltable lid to stay connected all day and into the night. M-Series portable power stations, always ready to power the possibilities. From the #1 trusted battery brand, Duracell, engineered for more.
At the Vineland Municipal Utilities, we understand that when our business community thrives, we all win. As a not-for-profit utility, our reliability, lower cost of operations, and flexibility in meeting customer needs make doing business in Vineland beneficial to your bottom line. What's more, we are able to do so while maintaining our commitment to environmental stewardship. We look forward to helping you achieve your business goals now and for years to come. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
All right. Fun news announcement. We posted it on social media. We teased it on the pod last episode, I think. But fully confirmed, we are going to have on next episode, I'll let you guys know when it's coming out. Either Wednesday it'll come out, like Wednesday night, or it'll come out on Friday because obviously holiday coming up. Don't want the episode to kind of get lost in the zeitgeist on Thursday when it would traditionally come out. But in studio, we are going to have Nicoletta and Tyler Steinbrine. Nicoletta is the lead singer. Tyler strumming them strangs of the ever so amazing band Polaroid Fade. Tyler's our original producer, and Nicoletta Giuliani is the lead singer. She wrote a bunch of the songs, if not all of them, for their new album, Chaos into Poetry, out now. It's linked in the description. Go download that thing. Go buy that thing. It's on album. It's on vinyl. They're going to be in studio promoting the album, talking some music, talking a little sports here and there as well. I'm very excited for this. It's going to be so much fun. We haven't had an in-studio guest in years. It's been so long. The last one was Jamil Demby years ago, if I'm not mistaken. That wasn't over, video call. So very excited to have Tyler and Nicoletta in studio this week. we'll be recording that while you guys are listening to this probably. They'll be in studio. So I'm very excited to have Polaroid Fade here in the studio promoting their album. Go download it. Go listen to it. It's super good vibes, super fun, very beachy. Genuinely an awesome listen. Go download it. We'll link it in the description for you guys to check it out. And looking forward to having them in studio. And I know a couple weeks ago I talked about on the show engaging interest in a potential newsletter from your boy. It's coming. I wrote the first one. That will probably come out on Wednesday. I wrote it. It was fun to crack the knuckles and write something out. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to get my creativity going a lot and really give me another outlet that's not necessarily having to sit behind a microphone and everything. Not that I hate that. I'm never not going to sit in front of a microphone to get my thoughts on sports and entertainment and everything off. That's never changing. But I'm excited to kind of write a little bit again and just kind of be free-flowing and get my thoughts off on a weekly basis. It's not taxing on me per se. It's once a week. I'm thinking Wednesday releases, which will be pretty cool because then you'll have the pod from me on Monday and Thursday. You'll have a newsletter on Wednesday, and it kind of keeps things just more content for you guys. And, I could potentially have guest writers on it. The newsletter is going to be titled The Graffiti Wall. I'll be blasting it out on social media. It'll go right to your email. It's via Substack. So figuring out all the ins and outs of Substack, potentially adding a paid feature, not asking anyone to pay, but I'm looking into that just in case. But off the rip, it's going to be free. Would love for you guys to check it out and subscribe to the Graffiti Wall as well. It'll go right to your email, free to subscribe. So looking forward to writing those as well on a weekly basis and kind of just let my thoughts fly. It'll be nice because I work my day job Mondays and Tuesdays. So Tuesday nights I can kind of sit down and write, and Monday potentially sit down and do stuff as well to kind of get the idea going over the weekend, start the writing process on Monday, finish it up on Tuesday, and have it out to go on Wednesdays for you. So that'll probably be the release date. I'm not 100% sure. So, but this week I think it's going to go out on Wednesday. So looking forward to having you all read it. And it's going to be writing again. That's how I got my start in sports and sports media. So to kind of go back to my roots a little bit and have some fun and letting the written word flow through my fingies is a fun process. It's challenging again because it's been a while since I've written anything on a consistent basis. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about it. And the Graffiti Wall coming to your email inbox soon. Again, Polaroid Fade in studio on the next episode, which will be a ton of fun. I can't wait for that. We're going to do a whole bunch of social content with them, hopefully, too, and have that plastered everywhere. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. Go download their album, Chaos into Poetry, and enjoy this Victory Monday. Enjoy it. It's a perfect way to get Thanksgiving week started. A Victory Monday, short work week for everyone. Black Friday right around the corner. Cyber Monday. Go shop, 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 shop. I'm pumped. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped, guys. The Birds won. It's always good to get a win to start your week. But yeah, I'm pumped. Let me know how you're feeling. Leave me a voicemail. Speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Get your takes off. Get your thoughts on this Eagles team off. Your Victory Monday hype. I want to hear from you. Speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Leave me a voicemail. It's open 24/7, 365. And you'll be featured on every single Monday episode. Speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Make sure you guys are following us on the socials at UndergroundPHI, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Blue Sky. We're on everything, everywhere, all at once. Follow. Follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311. You can follow me on Instagram, Threads, KBIZZLE11. And you can follow me on Blue Sky, YouTube, and TikTok as well. Just search my name. I come up. I'm all over the place. Subscribe to the podcast feed. Please. That is what I really want this holiday season, for you guys to subscribe to the pod. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Please leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow and helps more people find Underground Sports Philadelphia and our entire catalog of podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel as well if you want to watch the show twice a week, every single week, with yours truly. And on Thursday episodes, it's yours truly and Harrison Kremens coming at you to get your weekend going right. I get your week started off right. It's a win-win. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of every show on our network as well. Clips, shorts, live streams. Let's get to 900 subscribers before the end of the month. Let's make that happen. We're ever so close. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Smash that like button. Ring the bell icon. Leave a comment down below. And of course, guys, this show is presented by the city of Vineland, and whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. And this has been episode number 693 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, a Victory Monday edition. Oh, yeah, and if you got this far, you might notice some new looking in the background. We added a couple more shelves. We're renovating a little bit in the studio, changing some stuff up, making it feel more studio-esque down here. I'm very excited. So, background change here. Not this episode, but some episode in the future. You may start seeing a new layout as well if you're watching on YouTube. Don't be alarmed. We're just upgrading, moving forward, building this thing up. And that's all because of you guys who listen and watch. But this has been episode number 693 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, a Victory Monday edition of the podcast. I'm your boy KB. Go enjoy Victory Monday. Enjoy this week. Harry and I will catch you on the next episode with Polaroid Fade in studio. But until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I'm signing off. Go Birds! Peace!